Okay, so AI, artificial intelligence. It's a very interesting topic, but it's also complicated and it's evolving day by day. So what you hear today might be obsolete in a week. So we'll just do our best here. So first of all, what is AI? A lot of different people have a lot of different thoughts on it, but basically it's the ability of a computer or a robot to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings. Okay, that's the general definition of AI. Now, here's a quiz. Whose idea was it? And we're going to talk first, when did this concept come about? What decade? Anybody? What decade?
40s.
Oh my goodness. Ding, 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 you both win. Yes, it was the 40s. Now, why do you say that?
Working on the space projects and getting things, AI takes a lot of data, puts it all together, and then tries to draw information from it and process that data quickly.
Right, and that's exactly what it does. The British mathematician Alan Turing, who worked on in the Bletchley Circle, I hope I said that right, with trying to decode the Enigma machine, he was the one who actually talked about it at a lecture in 1947. He said, what we want is a machine that can learn from experience. And that is really, I think, a better definition of AI. It's learning from experience. The experience is by looking through masses of information very, very quickly and coming up with commonly what could be the answer. So, now, how many people think that they have used AI in some form? Right, excellent. Okay, you're all right, because the post office uses AI. For example, all those handwritten envelopes, they're read by AI now, because they can decipher those addresses much quicker than a human can. So the post office is using AI. Also, let's see, your phones. How many when you're all texting and you say happy and then you see three little things at the bottom? That's AI. That's AI going, I have looked through a bazillion texts and these are the three most common words that come after happy. And they give you those suggestions. Also, when you're typing an email, you say, I want to thank you, and then it comes up in, for the, it's what it's done is it's checked a bazillion emails and gone, okay, these are the words that typically come after, and they're the suggestion. Also, have any of you gotten a call from a bank, your real bank, or your real credit card that says, gee, or a text maybe, did you actually buy gas in California? And that's because it says, you've never been to California, and yet somebody has used your credit card and it alerts you to it. That again is AI doing all this in the background. It's just all good, okay, to start with. Okay, now, it's helping us, it's a tool, and that's fantastic. Now, but on the back side, AI has some general downsides. First of all, electricity costs, okay? How many of you seen a movie or a TV show where somebody goes into this big building and there's all these towers and rows of blinking lights? And that's actually that's actually what a computer array looks like. That's what it is. But think about it. All those computers take a lot of energy. Plus, they also generate a lot of heat. Yes. And that means they gotta use a lot of energy to keep those computers cool. And that's going to be a problem. Could be this summer where they're talking about record heat, and now they're pulling more and more electricity from the grid, from us, into these arrays. So something to think about. Also, the loss of jobs. For example, a friend of mine was telling me, he loves AI because he doesn't need to hire another person for his business. Because with the AI tools, he can use all those things and do his job without having to hire somebody else. So that is resulting in loss of jobs. It's helping him because he doesn't have to pay, but it also is affecting the economy. Okay, now the biggest thing where AI is not our friend are the scams. Okay, yeah, this is scary. So, for example, have any of you been unfortunate enough to be on the end of getting a phone call from let's say your daughter, "Hi, this is Lucy, I've been in an awful accident, I need $3,000 right now, because otherwise I'm gonna go to jail." Oh my God, it happened to you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
2
my
years ago.
God.
My grandson, yeah.
Okay,
And I just happened to know that where they were on vacation, so I called my daughter, and she said, well, Carter's not here, he's out walking to Virginia Beach, walking with a friend. So anyhow, with the person, I asked the person, give me Carter's birthday. And
good for you.
I hung up.
Okay, very good, very good. Now, it only takes, oh, yes, Connie?
Yeah, well, I have a good librarian story.
Oh.
And this just happened a few months ago. Similar scam, and it was down in the Ellisburg-Mansfield area.
Oh, yeah.
And the lady who was having the problem thought to go to her local library. And it was the librarian who saved the day.
Excellent. Oh, that's
story.
good. And it only takes 3 seconds of a recording of your voice for AI to duplicate it perfectly. 3 seconds. So you think how long you talk, like now, somebody could just scam me because of this recording that's gonna go on our webpage. But anyway, also they, for example, you might have gotten a text from your bank, and it might not have been your bank, that says, "You've been scammed, click here." And when you click here, it brings up this website, and it's all about, how we're gonna help you with this scam thing. And it only takes 5 minutes to create those websites for AI, less than 5 minutes. So these scammers are using AI to such a level of degree of sophistication that it's almost impossible to discern that without spending a lot of time and doing your homework, exactly, doing that. Asking a birth date, or talking to someone
And
else.
Yvonne, it was interesting in that case because it got so complicated that the AI had the state trooper's phone number, and it got really detailed, the bank's phone number, and it was just so believable, but it wasn't.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's one of the downsides. It's like any tool, it can be used for good or it can be used for evil, so. Okay, now there's also I don't know if you've heard of them, the deep fake scams, where they take a digital image of someone and then they actually can make, it's like the Michael Jackson movie that just came out, that's all AI. And so they could have us fighting, they could have us doing whatever, because they have just a picture of us, and with AI, they can make us do anything on video. Yeah, that's scary, okay, yeah. Okay, now, to protect yourself on that, you have to, as you said, be wary of promises that are too good to be true, or if you receive an urgent video call or message, verify by calling them on a different platform or asking questions to confirm that this is really going on. Also, there's the AI-powered bots. They're the online chatbots that try to manipulate you into taking an action, such as buying into a scam, giving away your personal information, and the text where, click here, and it's like, oh, we're gonna help you, what's your account number, what's your password, what's your da-da-da, and it's like, they gotcha. Okay, so now how is AI beneficial? Okay. We talked about it's automated transcription and translation. It is so fast. When you think about how long it took us as groups of people to transcribe all the censuses, all the time, all the effort, all the, spending time discerning, is that an L or an S or whatever. And it can do it almost instantly. You can upload a document to Ancestry or many of the other websites or genealogy sites, and it will transcribe it almost instantly, which is really great. It also can do translation into foreign languages, and it can also enhance certain unreadable documents so that they actually become legible again, which is something else that is very, very helpful and something we didn't have before. It also quickly scans and extracts information from vast digitized historical records. So that's what AI does also. So when you're in like Ancestry, for example, or actually when you do just a search, AI, and it's the first result whenever you do a Google search, it's the AI response. It goes through and it pulls out all of the different sites, all that information, and it kind of conglomerates it together, and which is good, so, mostly. And we'll talk about that in a minute. It also identifies patterns really, really well, and I'm going to talk about that in a little while because in Ancestry, it does that very, very well. It helps you identify things that the old Ancestry wasn't able to do, and that's very helpful too. It identifies patterns across different records and finds connections people might miss in huge data sets. Think about it. You do a search and you get 500 hits. How long will it take you to go through 500 hits? It's going to take you forever. So, whereas it can go through them in seconds. Okay.
That's what our portal does.
Okay. Your portal
Our
being.
portal is AI.
Okay.
And it pulls, you have sources in Family Search, and it will, if you click on those, it brings, AI brings all those things together on the right-hand side. Then you can go through and pick out which documents. And you talked about how they translate it. So they'll give you the translation, but they'll also give you the original document. So
Good.
you can click on that and you can look at it, but AI is already translated, so it takes that census and makes, like, you can't figure out if it's a D, a B, or whatever.
Right.
And all of its intelligence has done that for you.
Yes.
So that's what we have in the genealogy library now. It's called the portal.
Okay. It's called the portal. That's good to know. I spent a little time doing Ancestry just because I happened to be in there, and I hadn't had a chance to do that. But Ancestry kind of does the same thing, but that's really helpful to know because seeing both the original and the translated one would be very helpful.
I
So.
was doing that tonight with the Battle over Oriskany,
Oh,
because I was looking at who died there.
okay.
And so if you click on those names, it'll give you all the documents.
Okay.
I got the platoon listings.
Oh, neat.
And I got who was the drummer, who was just like that.
And that's great. Okay. It also can uncover social history and help place ancestors within broader historical events. For example, like you said, the Battle of Oriskany. You know, it's one thing to have platoon lists. It's another thing to have, okay, the platoon list and then this and then that all in the same event to see it all together, which is nice.
And it also told me which Indian tribes fought on which
Oh,
side.
right.
So they have all of that listed for you. It's amazing what it does now. And this has all come about, we got our portal, I think, a year ago.
A year
But
ago?
they keep
Okay.
adding to it. Every single time just about I shut down our computers in there, it says they got an update.
Okay, okay. That's good. Now, let's talk about some concerns about AI. I like some of the terms they have. So AI can misread text, and it's not perfect either. And it can generate plausible but false details, which are called hallucinations. So AI can have hallucinations. I love that, which is risking the creation of inaccurate family trees. Well, it's like garbage in, garbage out. If it misreads something and it says, oh, well, that's William, and it's really not William, it's maybe a different, something close, it is going to report that it's William
Yeah.
when it really isn't William.
Which
So,
is why you gotta use your intelligence and look at both parts. So I bring up the original
Right.
document, but I also look at, see what it translated, and
Right.
see if I can verify, yes.
and that is key, and we're actually going to talk about a couple things because that is exactly right. We can't just automatically go, oh, this is, AI gave me this answer. It's absolutely correct.
No.
It's not. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. And I still feel that the human mind can grasp subtleties that AI can't. AI isn't really thinking. It's amassing. It's finding the same information. It's doing things like that, but it's not it doesn't have the subtlety, I think, that the human mind has. And that's why, exactly to your point, you have to check stuff. You have to go, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And there's other things that we have to check too, and we'll talk about that in a minute with AI. So, okay. Another problem is copyright and intellectual property. AI has gotten better at this, and I like that because I noticed it today that I was Googling something, and AI's response came up, and at the bottom it said Wikipedia and 4 other sources. It didn't used to say that. It didn't used to say where it pulled its information from. So that is actually getting better about giving credit to whoever's resources it's using to come up with its answer. So that's good. Yes, Tom?
So you mentioned that, in the back of my mind, I remember, like the New York Times did not wanna release all their newspapers to AI because they sell those newspapers.
Exactly.
So that's much what you're saying too.
Yeah, that's right, and it's a loss of revenue, and also, to your point, yeah, it's the loss of intellectual property. Okay, and data ownership, same thing, New York Times owns that data, that is theirs, and so they might not, get the revenue that they had before. Privacy and security, oh, this is a big one. Uploading sensitive family data to AI causes privacy concerns and data securities which aren't always transparent. Think about it, you know? What was your mother's maiden name? Okay, how many, is that on your, a lot of bank things? Oh, we can figure that out real easy, can't we? So there's a lot of concerns about that your information is being shared to everybody without regard to anything. So to your, those scammers, oh yeah, they got your mom's maiden name. You can guarantee it, so. Okay, some other concerns. Data bias. Data sometimes reflects societal biases. You know how over time certain things change, how we look at things, how we look at history, and it might not, again, understand the nuances of what was going on at the time, and so you really want to be aware of that. Loss of context. Algorithms lack the human understanding of cultural or emotional nuances, potentially missing deeper meanings in records. How many times have you looked at a record and gone, oh my God, do you know what that means? My parents weren't married when they had their first kid. Oh my, oh. So there's a lot there that they can't do for good and bad. And so that's, again, the human mind really has those nuances, which is good. And we talked about cost and accessibility. AI can be expensive. Some of those AI modules can be quite expensive. I think you were talking about.
Here, come to the library.
Okay, yeah. Steve was.
Church is paid for it, and you can get
Okay.
it, and it's all. We don't charge you a penny.
Oh,
coming in.
that's great. In general, though, Steve, your son was talking about Chat GPT. Chat
Yeah,
GPT.
yeah.
Okay, and he was saying how much it costs, and he was as opposed to Gemini AI.
Right, yeah, he was subscribing to Chat GPT, and he tried the free version of Gemini and said it was just as good. Perhaps a little slower, you have to wait, instead of 10 seconds, you have to wait maybe 20 seconds for the answer. And, so, yeah, you can shop around now.
Isn't there a free version of ChatGPT?
Yes.
Yes.
Depends on what you want to do. In my experience, it depends on what you're trying to do, whether it's worth the subscription fee. I'm still using the free version of it, but one of our volunteers at the museum is actually paying for the premium version of it, and she says it's just that much quicker. But how much quicker do you need it to be? It's all about your budget, I guess.
Yvonne,
Yes, sir.
I just wanna point out, last Informer that came out in April, President's message was all AI driven. I just typed into Google, and said, what are the pros of genealogy online? What are the disadvantages? Everything in that article just came out instantaneously.
Yeah.
I just cut and pasted,
You have such a
just
way
to
with
show you
words.
what it looked like. What's that?
You have such a way with the words.
So I did a little test in Ancestry, and first I'll give you just a quick little background. I have a great grandfather who I know nothing about, nothing. I didn't even know his name for sure. And I had a family story, and I knew he was born in Ireland, but the family story was his name was Joseph Henry, and he was in New York City in the late 1890s, and he died somewhere at that point. And I have, talk about a brick wall, Henry, for a last name in New York City, how many were there? A bazillion. So I've been struggling in Ancestry with that. You do a search, and it's like, okay, I can guess maybe his birth date based on the children. I can kind of guess his death date. I thought I knew his name. I found out I was wrong. And he was born he lived in New York City. So you think about it, you're doing a search. The old Ancestry, you put in as much as you knew. And what it would do is come up with a whole list of records, okay? So if you had 4 things you knew, name, location, birth, and death dates, what it would do is it would try and find as many records that matched all those criteria, okay? So if it matched 2 of them, it was halfway down the list, okay? That's not good. And if it had all 4, it would be towards the top of the list. But think about it. How many records have all 4 of those pieces of information? Birth date, death date? How many records even have a death date on them? Not very many. And a name and a location of, one part of their life they were in Ireland, another part they were in New York City, another part they might have been someplace else. So I just kept getting a dead end. I couldn't find him. So then, this time with AI, I did the search, same search as before, and I actually, to your point, in Ancestry, off to the side, it said, these records might be of interest to you. And it pulled records out of the middle of the search that matched more of my criteria. And it linked them so that, again, I was guesstimating a death date, which wasn't on any records. And it was kind of going, okay. And I actually, hard to believe, but I actually finally found my great-grandfather. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it was a moment, I gotta tell you. So AI is really, really helpful for those kind of things. And
You still gotta search.
You absolutely do.
You still gotta wade through, but it narrows your wading.
Right. I didn't have to, and I had waded through, I honestly, because I wasn't sure of his first name, I only was sure of his last name. I didn't know his birth date or his death date, I was guessing. And I had a location in New York City. I mean, I had so many hits, and I was wading through them time after time after time, and I never got to where I found him, but I finally did. But that's exactly right. You have to always verify. You have to, it's like a starting point. It's almost like, the family trees you see, they're a starting point. They're not necessarily perfect, because unless people put the proofs in, they're not perfect. But it's a starting point to go, oh, okay, maybe his name wasn't Joseph, maybe it was Harry, which it was. It's like, oh, yeah, yes, Larry.
Yeah, one of the important things is that, as Steve was saying, AI is not one monolith out there. There are lots of companies, lots of people with their own platforms, and sometimes you need to check more than one platform.
Yeah.
And sometimes, of course, it's learning all the time, so sometimes it'll tell you something that you know is not true.
Right.
Factually, and you say, that's not true. Oh, I made a mistake. You're right, I'm wrong. This is what AI says to you. I was wrong, and then it recalculates and gives you more factual information. And what I heard about and learned was that when these were all being initiated, all these different platforms, they were all taught that they wanted to be assertive and confirm things and say yes and always have the right answer, or at least always have an answer.
Oh,
Never
interesting.
say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know,"
Oh.
because they thought that was more successful for the platform.
Oh.
And what happened is, if you say, "Is the Earth flat?" it goes, "It certainly is. It's been said by 1,900
Yeah, there you
people."
go, yeah.
So if you say, "Wait a minute, I don't think it is," and you, "Oh, you're right. I've got all these other sources that say it isn't, and for these different reasons." And I don't want to pick on the flat earthers here, but there are, when half the people in the United States at least believe in ghosts or some of these things that are astrology, they're pseudosciences that some people believe in and some don't. And if AI is just trying to make you happy, it could be wrong sometimes. So I don't know what you do then. If you go in and it says astrology's baloney, and you go, "But I really believe in it. Where am I now? I'm stuck."
Yeah,
It's not emotional, it's gonna just do the facts.
right.
Just the facts, ma'am.
Well, the fact, what it sees is facts, and if it sees somebody say something enough times, it tries to present it as a fact, but to your point, I love your example, by the way. Yeah, it's not necessarily a fact just because a lot of people say it. It doesn't make it, wrong.
Unfortunately, kids are getting caught on that in school, so they're learning. Don't go pushing the Wikipedia article that you read, or don't ask AI for all the answers.
Right.
You got to learn some critical thinking
Well,
first.
I think that's very important because that's the critical thinking that's going to allow us to see the problems and address them. If you're just going to blindly accept what anyone tells you, whether it's AI or
Or
your
your mom.
neighbor or your mom, whatever. You're right.
Your nose will grow if you tell a lie.
Okay, that's right. So that's something you're right, you absolutely need to be aware of. You need to be aware of all the cons of it. Always verify and use it as a supplement. Don't use it as the first thing to answer all your questions. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get on my platform for just 1 minute. And I see these commercials where they're talking about the new, is it Siri or Alexa? And it's the new one, Alexa Plus, I think it is. And what it is it's like they're asking Alexa how to raise their children. And I'm thinking, are you really doing that? You're asking Alexa if it's right to do something with your child like that? I wonder where we're going with this, but all right, I'm digressing.
Alexa probably goes back to Dr. Spock.
Oh, well, could be worse, but, okay, but also,
I had a question.
oh yeah,
I
oh
have a
yes.
question. So does that mean that consensus makes fact? Like if everybody in the United States or the world says
Does,
something,
it does to a point.
It does, right, it does to a point.
Because it looks at patterns, that's what
Right.
AI, it will look at
That's
a
not
whole bunch
Right.
of stuff.
what
And
is
if a
truth?
whole bunch of things say, this is how it is.
Right,
then-
now, and that's exactly it, so if you look at it and AI says the world is flat, I'll use your example, Larry, and you go, okay, let's look at your sources for that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Joe Schmo, but is it NASA? Is it, any of the reputable resource centers? And that you always had to do that. Whenever the internet was made, you always had to evaluate your sources. You always had to look at the website and go, is this a legitimate website? Is this, yes,
So, in family search, like for example, if it has somebody's name, and then after that, it'll tell you how many sources they got that information.
Mm-hmm.
So you click on the source, and over on the right side, it'll give you all the places that it pulled that information from,
That's
census,
great.
obituary, everything. So then now it's your turn to use your intelligence and go through each one of them and say, is this right?
right. But your question was more on general AI
But what if
versus,
society is wrong? Which
oh, and we
see
have
it
been,
Yeah.
now,
absolutely.
yeah, and then IA bases it on that, AI.
Right, and that's where the time historical things, when you look at history, we owned slaves. The American Revolution, all men are created equal, except women, except slaves, except, Native Americans, except, so, you're right, you have the historical thing, what are people saying, and then what are they doing? And how do they connect or contradict each other? So you always have to think about that, and that's a very good point. That's critical, I think, critical thinking for all of this, because, again, we have to look at everything and go, is this true? Is it, fair? Is it, all these questions, so, yes.
Sometimes it comes from your own history, because a lot of things that I believed or I thought were right when I was in my 20s, I don't agree with that anymore.
Yeah, we change.
Probably most of us. As you live your life, you see the fairness or the unfairness in things, and it will change your point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Yvonne,
Yes.
I can give her an example of consensus across the USA.
Oh,
When AI first started, I started getting a plus number on my phone. So it would be +1.
oh, okay.
What it is the USA calling code for all of United States and United States territories is a number 1.
Okay.
All overseas calls are a +1. And this is how you're getting your scammers. AI started it, thought it was right, and now you don't know if you're getting a call from your senator, from some scammer,
Yeah.
or somebody who's trying to call somebody in the USA. So I took on my phone, in my addresses, I have them all written down in the book anyway. I went one by one and removed the +1 out of every number,
Okay.
except for one. I have a pen pal in Australia.
Okay, which you needed then, yeah.
And so that I have in there, but I don't answer +1 calls anymore because they were bringing me 50 to 75 or 100 emails a day.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
And so that's where consensus, and you can't convince anybody across America, the young people especially, that +1 is dangerous, and that if you have that call, it could be a scam. Like I said, it could also be your senator or your congressman.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, they're coming from Dominican Republic or places like
Yeah,
that.
definitely, yes.
So and there's a consensus that +1's okay, so everybody's using it.
Wow, I did not know that. Okay, so again, and lastly, when you do your research, acknowledge that AI, what role AI had in building it. I know most of us aren't writing papers anymore or anything like that, but I do like to take note. When I was doing my genealogy, it was like, okay, AI gave me this, okay, that's good, but again, always verify, always, and always look beyond. Like if AI is looking at, a lot of things on the web, hey, use a book. Check a book and see if your sources are kind of match that, or if it's all just what a lot of people say, that the capital of something is something, and it's really
How
not.
does the DAR feel about that?
I'm not in the DAR.
No, but what do you think?
I think, what, checking a book?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but you think an AI response is going to be enough to prove your heritage?
No, no, you have to have proof.
course not.
Absolutely, no.
It isn't.
No, you have to have, yeah, that's right. Okay. All right, that was just a little summary of the pros and cons. I hope it helped everybody. Any questions? It was great that